Okay, today we're going to be looking at finding angles both on a straight line and around a point. So we're going to start with a straight line. Here, as you can see, I've got a straight line, and we should be able to remember that the angle of a straight line is 180 degrees. So this is 180 degrees. So therefore, if we've got a couple of angles or more than that on a straight line, such as this, we know they must add up to 180 degrees. So for example, if this side was 20 degrees, to work out this angle here, all we need to do is 180 degrees, because we know that's both of them. If we take away this bit, we'll be left with this bit. So 180, take away 20, gives me 160, so this must be 160 degrees. And it works with any number of angles on a straight line. So in this case, I've got three different angles. If I want to find out this one over here, I do exactly the same thing again. I know that the total of all three is going to have to be 180. If I take away this one, and this one here, and as we can see, because we've got this little square, this must be a right angle, which is 90 degrees. 90 and 35 is 125, so if we take that away, that's going to leave us with 55 degrees, which is going to be that angle there. Sometimes you might get a question like this, where you're asked to find these two angles, but as we can see they've got the same letter, so that means they're the same size, and this one's 110. Again, we take the rule that the whole lot is 180. If we take away this middle angle, that'll leave us with 70 degrees. So we know this one and this one must add up to 70 degrees. And as we know they are both the same, we just need to half it. So we know that each one is 35 degrees. So when we move on to angles around a point, it's a very similar method. But this time what we need to remember is that the angle all the way around in a point in one full circle is 360 degrees. So these three angles in this case must add up to 360. So again, we could do the same method as we did last time. We start with our 360, take away 130, take away 140. We can add these two together to make life a little bit simpler. So that's 270. Take that away from 360 is going to give you 90 degrees. So obviously mine is drawn pretty poorly, but this one would have to be 90 degrees. So again, let's say we had a question like this where we're trying to find these two angles, and again they've got the same letter, so we must know they must be equal. We remember we start with 360 degrees because that's the distance all the way around. We take away this one that we know the size of. This little symbol means it's at the right angle. It's going to give us 270 degrees. And again, we know these two are equal. So they're each going to be half 270 degrees. So we know that each angle B is just 135 degrees. Right, lastly then we'll look at some of the challenge style problems that I set this week. So in this case we've still got three angles on our straight line. So we'll start off exactly as we did before. We know that all three angles must add up to 180. So I take away the one that I know, this 50 degrees in the middle. I'll be left with 130 degrees. Now I've got two unknowns here. I've got the same letter missing, which is actually time, and we've added a little bit on. So first of all, we're going to work out what both of these add up to. So we've got two lots of x. So I'm just going to call that 2x. We've got plus 10 here, plus 30 here. So plus 40 degrees. And we know that has to equal 130 degrees, because it's the bit we got left when we took away that 50 from the straight line. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take away this horrible 40 degrees from both sides. So I'm going to be left with 2x equals 90 degrees. So therefore I know that x, because we have a half this and half this, it's just going to be 45 degrees. So I can plug that back into my original and I can work out that this side, whoops, is x plus 10. So that's going to be 55 degrees. And this side was x plus 30. So that will be 75 degrees.